Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinan. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sonyavadi Pastakyati Satarini. Om Vishnu Hare Krishna Prisaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Dhira Swami. Namaste Krishna. Adaya Prabhupada Shri Dharmane Shri Gauravani. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshulunmitandana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jayana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shwapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. So we have this prayer which we always say. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shwapadantikam. We are praying to Srila Rupa Goswami. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world a mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter at the lotus feet? We are always begging Rupa Goswami. And we are known as Rupa Anuga. We are followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, who work very hard to establish the process of bhakti. Establish the process of bhakti. Rupa Goswami teaches us what is bhakti and how to get bhakti. Because they came for that. They came to teach us this process, bhakti. So what are his teachings? Or first of all, let's look at this Rupa Goswami, then we'll look at his teachings. So Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. And Anupama, the three brothers. The three brothers, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Anupama, we are absorbed in Baba Bhakti from early childhood. This is not a surprise because they are Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated souls who came from the spiritual world. So to say that they are absorbed in Baba Bhakti, a static devotional service right from childhood, right from that childhood is not a surprise. It is expected, because they are not conditioned souls. They cannot live ordinary life like we conditioned souls live. So right from the childhood, they have to do what they are. What they are is that they are eternal lovers of Krishna. And he gave a detailed explanation about this in many of his books, Bhakti Dhira Damodara. He gave us his Bhakti Dhira Damodara, where he explained Lord Krishna is Vishaya, the object of love. And the devotees of Krishna, including himself, are the ashraya. Ashraya means the shelter, the shelter. The shelter or the abode or the reservoir of love for Godhead. In other words, Rupa Goswami, we are putting the whole together. What is life and also his teachings? We are just putting everything together. So Rupa Goswami is the embodiment of love for Godhead. Is the reservoir of love for Godhead. That is what they stood for. So remembering Vrindavan, they used to play in the forests of Tamala, Keli, Kadamba, and Tulasi trees that surrounded their childhood home in Bengal. Wherever they are, wherever they are, that is Vrindavan. They can't stay outside Vrindavan. They are always in Vrindavan. Even if geographically they are in different places, they will naturally create Vrindavan. They are in Bengal. They are in West Bengal. But Vrindavan is Bengali is not different from Vrindavan. So we have New Vrindavan, that is Mayapur, New Vrindavan, West Bengal. West Bengal, West Bengal, Mayapur. Navadvip is the capital. Navadvip is the capital of education. That is where Rupa, Sanatana Goswami and they all resided. So this is their home, their situation. They are always in Vrindavan, always in Vrindavan. In the middle of this forest were two ponds, which they named after Radha Kund and Shyama Kund. In this way, they were constantly absorbed in rendering service to Radha and Krishna. That is what they are. The ashraya, the reservoir of love of Godhead. They embodied that and they teach us that. They live that. That is their life. So we are begging. We are begging. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Chaitanya, to give me shelter. Ashraya, the shelter. When Sri Sanatana Goswami was still young, he had an unusual dream of a Brahmana boy giving him the Srimad Bhagavatam. Upon receiving the Bhagavatam, Sanatana Goswami's head stood up in ecstasy. But upon awakening, he saw that the Bhagavatam and the Brahmana boy were gone. Sanatana felt sad. That morning, however, when Sri Sanatana began his puja, Krishna, disguised as a Brahmana boy, appeared and said, "Take this Srimad Bhagavatam from me. Always study it, and all perfection will be yours." All perfection. So Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana were accomplished scholars, having been trained by Vidya Vachaspati, who is a brother of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They made their headquarters in Ramakeli, then the capital of Bengal. From within Bengal and India, many learned Panditas and Brahmanas came to hear Srila Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswami daily discourse on Srimad Bhagavatam. That is their eternal duty. Many Brahmanical scholars came all over, all the way from Karnataka in South India. It was said that during this time, Sri Sanatana Goswami wrote his famous commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Dasa Ma Tipani. King Hussain Shah, the ruler of Bengal, heard about the extraordinary qualifications of Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswami. Therefore, he wanted them in his government. He employed them in his government. Rupa and Sanatana, they accepted the service to work under the Muslim. Because at that time, the Muslim government always used to force the Hindus to take service under them. Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami were among those who were forced to take. The words we were forced to take should not be misunderstood. They were forced to take. That is external. That is external. That is external. They were forced to accept the service under the Muslim government, Hussein Shah. Because externally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted them to serve there. So they were rejected from the Brahmanical community. And they were considered the Muslims. As they themselves were fully absorbed in that as well. Fully absorbed means that they accepted that they even changed their name to Muslim names. That was the trick of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the plan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he put them there, just like he put Haridas Thakura, a Muslim. He put his Ramananda Rai also under another king, Maharapataparudra, and all other exalted devotees were put in different places. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was using them to teach us the importance of Krishna consciousness. So even though they were working there, they were working with the Muslim. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Ramakeli, he met the two brothers and said, "My dear Dabir Kasa and Sakar Malika, you two are my eternal servant. From this day on, your names will be Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Have no fear of anything. Birth after birth, you have been my eternal servant. I am sure that Krishna shall soon deliver you." It was time for them, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned in one of the lectures. They accepted the service under the Muslim government, so the Brahmana rejected them. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and accepted them back, not only into the Brahmana community, but into Vaishnava circle. And he gave them the name Sanatana Rupa Goswamis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used them to teach the exalted nature of Vaishnava culture. The process of bhakti is superior to other processes. So they were just working there. Another reason for them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was using them to teach us, is that Sanatana Rupa Goswami and other Goswamis, they were really the biggest scholars. Nobody can compete with them. So they study all the scriptures in the world. They study all. That means they study Bible, they study Quran, they study all the scriptures from A to Z. Why? Just to bring out the essence of religion. This is the teachings. This is the teaching they gave to us. They brought out the essence of religion. They brought out the essence, the perfection of all religion, the perfection of all teaching, and the perfection of pure love of God. For that, they sacrifice a lot. They sacrifice so many things. Their own cars, they sacrifice it. Their prestige, they sacrifice it. Which were all external. But when it was time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought them to the real position, which is the life of Goswamis. And you can see Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, and all other Goswamis, they established the process, which non-comparable to other traditions or any process of self-realization. So Rupa Goswami, he gave us the teachings, the nectar of devotion, Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami. And in this Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami, he explained what is Bhakti, what is Rasa. He has explained to us what is Rasa that we don't understand. The term Rasa is difficult to translate. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur translated it as mellow. And Srila Prabhupada followed in his footsteps. The word Rasa used in the Bhakti Dhira Damodara Sindhu is understood by different persons differently because the exact English equivalent is very difficult to find. But as we have seen, our spiritual master translate this word Rasa into mellow. We shall follow in these footsteps and also translate the word in that way. Rasa literally means juice, rasa, juice, mellow. Contextually, it means mellow. Mellow means sweet and full flavored from ripeness as fruit. Sweet and full flavored from ripeness as fruit. Ripeness as fruit. When the fruit is perfectly ripe, perfectly ripe, and full of juice, without fiber, without the skin, without the seed. Thus, mellow refers to the relatively sweet taste of a fruit, the taste contained in its juice. This is a teaching Rupa Goswami came to give us, and he carefully delivered this. He carefully delivered this juice. Carefully delivered this juice. Relationships are comparable to fruit. The pleasure we taste in a relationship is the juice or mellow of the relationship, which is rasa. No one knows about this thing. Even though it is something that living entities are running after and trying to engage into it, but it is never known. It is misunderstood. It is misused. But Sri Rupa Goswami came to teach exactly what it is. It is the taste of a fruit that attracts us to eat it. Similarly, the force that attracts us to a certain activity or relationship is the taste we enjoy in it. So Rupa Goswami, he wrote this wonderful book, Bhakti, Rasa, Amrit, Sindhu. And they are in different divisions. He divided into different divisions, explaining the transcendental relationship everyone has with Krishna. That relationship is eternal, and it is the juice that nourishes the soul, which the living entities are constantly searching, running after. Bhakti Rasa is an incalculably superior test. Bhakti Rasa, incalculably superior test. Not only is it superior to sense gratification, it is limitlessly superior even to the bliss of spiritual emancipation. Brahmananda. So Rupa Goswami, he said Brahmananda is like water contains in the calf hoofprint. Calf, not even a cow. That is how Rupa Goswami compared the Brahmananda to. Ordinary people will not understand that. But those who know Srila can understand. This is the teaching Rupa Goswami gave. Bhakti Rasa. Bhakti Rasa. In Brahmananda, or the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme, is multiplied by 1 trillion. 1 trillion folds. Water contains on the calf footprint. If that is multiplied into trillion or zillions times, then one is on the process. One is on the process. It's on the process because it still cannot be compared to the atomic fraction of the happiness derived from the personal devotional service. Trillion multiplied by trillion fold. It still cannot be compared to an atomic fraction. Just if not even a drop, a fraction of a drop. So Rupa Goswami said that cannot be compared. They cannot be compared. When the ocean of devotional service. Bhakti Rasa, Rasamrit Sindhu, the ocean. So he minimized Brahmananda and he promoted Paramananda. It is impossible for us to fully understand the infinite happiness released in Bhakti because it is beyond the realm of anything we can experience in our finite experience. However, Srila Prabhupada also got a glimpse of Bhakti Rasa by comparing it to Srila Prabhupada. The Prabhupada here referred to Rupa Goswami. He compared it to something with which we are quite familiar with. Mundane Rasa. We are familiar with mundane Rasa. That we are familiar with. At least there is a glimpse that one can use that to compare. It's a glimpse of mundane Rasa. But Bhakti Rasa is permanent. It's eternal. And it's an ocean that when one enters into it, one cannot get out again. That's the words Rupa Goswami gave us. So it is not just the book that Goswamis gave to us, not just the book. They have just given us just the path so we can enter into the realm of the reality. They show the path. That's what they came for. They show the path. And how do they show the path? They show the path by heavy sacrifice. We saw how Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and all other Goswamis, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu trained them sufficiently, he trained them sufficiently. And then he gave them order. Two of you should go to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to go to Vrindavan? Because in Krishna Lila, they have the verses. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sending them back to their old home. What is assignment? That they should recover all the lost places because they know where they are because it's their village. It is a place, they know everything. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to go back there, to go and recover all those places. They have the knowledge about it because they were there. It is their village, they know everything. And secondly, even though it was covered, with their spiritual vision, they would see everything and they recover everything. And so that was one of the assignments given to them by Sri Chaitanya. And they came there, they went to Vrindavan. After they were sufficiently trained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In many places. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he went, although he went to Ramakeli, purposely just to see Rupa Sanatana. That was the main reason of that. And he was happy to see them, and they were also happy to see him. So they did. Now we go to Vrindavan, we'll see wonderful places because of the sacrifice of Rupa Sanatana. And then Chaitanya asked them to write books. The books is not books for making money. Bhakti Dhira Damodara, how many people will buy this? Even a scholar buy the book, they will never understand anything inside. This is beyond philosophy. This is rasa, bhakti rasa. That the sweet melody of Krishna Bhakti, he put it in the form of a book to help us to start drinking from here before we can really enter into the real ocean of the nectar. So they did. Rupa Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, all of them, they wrote extensively, so many books, so many. And they discovered the lost places of Krishna pastimes. They constructed many big temples, sophisticated temples, even though they were so renounced, so renounced. These are big ministers who were ruling. Actually, they were ruling the government at that time. The king was there only in a name. So Rupa Sanatana Goswami were the one ruling the whole country at that time. But when they gave over that position, what was their life? To come and live under a tree. It was so unimaginable situation. But that is what they did. At that time when they were living there, it was not like what we see these days. If you go to Vrindavan, you go to 𝐾𝐚𝐦𝐿, the Rupa Goswami state to write. We'll have a big house. That time Rupa Goswami was there was no house. Not being that there was no house, it was a thick bush. Very difficult thing to go. In the rain, in the summer and the winter. They were there peacefully, writing before. And Krishna's material will come and visit them. That was not an easy thing to do, but they did it. They wrote books. They rediscover all the lost places. They construct the big temples. And they preach the court of Bhakti. While they were there in Vrindavan, they were so wonderful, so magnanimous. And devotees that the devotees and non-devotees, the devotees and the demons, they come to Rupa Sanatana Goswami. Not only the devotees come to Rupa Sanatana Goswami, the demons also, they come to see them. When you see Krishna Lila, Krishna were not appreciated by demons. Krishna were constantly fighting the demons, fighting with demons, killing all of them every day. For Rupa Sanatana Goswami, they were living the demons did not attack them. Even animals did not attack them because of their exalted nature. They were friendly with everyone. And everyone was also friendly with them. Although they were exalted sannyasis, they were handling all cases from all classes of people. When householders come to them with the household challenges, Rupa Sanatana Goswami would carefully look at them and deal with every situation in such a way that everybody was satisfied. Everybody was complete. Whoever come with any problem, Rupa Sanatana Goswami will resolve it. And because they were equal to everyone, whatever they say will be accepted by both parties. In this way, they naturally became the spiritual masters with the Brahmasis. And then the whole world. The whole world. That is the standard of life. Rupa Sanatana Goswami, all the Goswami lived. And they set that example. So all other acharyas, they are singing. When will Rupa and Raghunath Goswami, when will we have that eagerness? When will we have that eagerness? That level of bhakti, when will they give us? When will they give us that eagerness, that qualification to serve Krishna the way they did? To worship Krishna the way they did, to surrender their life to Krishna the way they did, life to Krishna the way they did. So this is a little thing we'll say about Rupa Sanatana Goswami. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. So, at one point you mentioned when you were talking about rasa, the meaning of rasa. Then you mentioned that Rupa Goswami, he was carefully delivering this juice, this rasa to the people. So if you could elaborate about this word carefully, Guru Maharaj. So you mentioned that he was carefully distributing this rasa to people. So
Carefully deliver means that they did not dilute it. They gave everything as it is. No dilution, no subtraction, no addition. They were very careful. In handing everything down to whoever would take it. So careful. That is why they put everything. That they wrote the books here. Everything was loaded in the books. They carefully consider those who are coming after them to drink this nectar. They carefully consider the situation, our situation, how we are going to take it. It will not just given. They carefully gave it. Means there were no adulteration, there were no subtraction. They were very, very careful considering our situation before they presented it. So that we can drink it without also any confusion. You cannot find any mistake, any fault in their writings. Their writings has no question. All they need is explanation for us to understand. There's no question about their teachings. So deep. And you will see that many people translate so many Sanskrit words, but very difficult for people to translate because like 𝐤𝐬𝐳 Goswami, because of the intricacies or the scholarly nature of people. All right, Prana Hari Prabhu has raised his hand.
Yes, thank you,
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam Maharaj. Very nice, Maharaj. The nectar of devotion. Very nice. Maharaj, my question is, the first question is basically related to the, it says that we should not take too much of knowledge for for elevating ourselves into devotional service. Why it says that? I mean, the education is not, or the knowledge is not important. Because when we get more knowledge, we learn more about Krishna.
It is said that Rupa Srila Goswami, they study all the scriptures, as I mentioned. They study all the scriptures, Jiva Goswami. They study all the scriptures. All the scriptures means even outside the Vedic culture, they study all. Like I mentioned, Bible, Quran, and and many other languages, they study all. Arabic language and all. They study all of them. One, they have the qualification. What is the qualification? That they can do all the things that they will pass through. They're just like air. Air will pass through the garbage bin and carry the fragrance. It also pass through a beautiful rose garden. It also carry the aroma, but is not affected. Stinking odor or sweet aroma, they're not affected by what they carry. This is the nature of the pure devotees. So they have the qualification to do this, and they did it. And then they brought out all the essence, only the essence they give to us. So that if we study what they have given to us, we don't have any need to go and study other things again. Because they have put everything into one place. Therefore, they give the recommendation that we should not read too many books. It's Rupa Goswami who mentioned the nature of devotion. We should not read too many books. One, because we don't have that qualification, we will become bewildered. Second, we don't have the time.
True.
The time is very, very, very short. And our mind is so disturbed, so complicated, no concentration. They have no complication in their life.
Yes. True.
They were clean. They were very 100% clean. And not just a clean that is the issue. They are so clean that nothing can affect it. I can give an example of hair. Therefore, they can pass through any situation and remain what they are. But they will affect every situation that they pass through, they will affect them positively. So they have the qualification. But we don't have that qualification. Therefore, it's better for us to take what they have already given to us. It is sufficient for God realization. This is Bhagavatam. For self-realization, for pure love of Godhead. What they have given, it is complete. Look at the definition he gave right from the beginning of nectar of devotion. Right from the beginning, he told us pure devotional service. He has 6 characteristics. One is Klesha Agni. Klesha Agni. It burns up all the unnecessary things completely and just places us in transcendence. So what else we What else do we have to do than to follow what they have given to us?
Correct.
So they have made all the sacrifices that we need to do. So we don't have to do that again. We simply take advantage of the sacrifice they have made for us. If we try what they did, we will fall. We won't succeed. Even if we don't fall, we don't have the time, the intelligence to comprehend everything that the person, and don't take only the essence and leave the nonsense. How many people can do that?
Very tough.
But they did. If they have saved our life. All right?
Yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, the one more question is that how do we know that we are detaching ourselves from the material desire and all that? How do we know that? I mean, this for me, I'm just I'm practicing, but still I'm not able to come to know that whether I'm detached from the material desire, or so how do we come to know that? What is the symptoms actually?
Yes, we are going to speak something about this Srila Prabhupada also very soon in 125 years. I'll just tell you one thing, just one thing. So what is so special about Prabhupada? What is so special? Why? Okay.
No, stop.
So what is so special about Prabhupada? What is so special about the Goswamis? It's so special about it. How do we know that we are detached? Is this just one thing? The Sri Goswamis or Prabhupada, keep them in a palace, they are satisfied. Keep them under the tree, they are satisfied. They are satisfied. You understand?
Yes.
They will never feel otherwise. Never. Give them palace, full, equipped with everything. They are satisfied. Just put them under a tree in the street. They are satisfied. The same way, no difference. So when you see pure devotees, they are working so hard. They all see. So what is the difference? See, they do the same like me. You are a fool. It's foolishness. They can be put in any situation. They are still the same. That's a quality of a devotee appreciated. Lord Shiva glorified devotees. Put devotees in hell, it's okay. Put them in heaven, it's okay. Provided they have their Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Put them in hell, Hare Krishna. Put them in heaven, Hare Krishna. That's a difference. That is not the situation we're talking about. Oh, why this? Oh, why this? That is our situation. Oh, why? Oh, this? Why this? Why that? No. But they would not complain of anything. Any situation they satisfy. That's sure they're detached. They're detached. They have it, it's okay. They don't have it, it's all right. Perfect. They're not affected by any situation. You glorify them, you don't glorify them, it's all right. The same, it's the same. They're the same. What is attracting the whole people to worship them is their purity. It is a purity. Their purity is so clean that even rogues, thieves, demons, Dhira Adira, demons and the devotees, they worship Rupa Sanatana. Yes.
Yes. But you mentioned
Krishna
that
has likes and dislikes. Therefore, there is difference. Krishna likes and doesn't like. The Goswami, there's nothing like or dislike. For them, the same. Therefore, they are attractive to the whole world. All right?
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, you mentioned that you're taking a session on this, something like that in the beginning.
Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami?
No, you said you're going to talk on this material, how to come out from the material desire, something like you mentioned in the beginning.
No, I can't remember. I can't remember.
No, it's fine. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Very nice. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Great.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. We are having one more question from YouTube, from Aishwarya Prabhu. I always wonder what should be our prayers when we go in front of the samadhi of our exalted acharyas.
It depends. For the six Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. So when we go before them, we go to their samadhi, we are praying to them. So when we come before them, we can offer them the prayers composed by the Goswami Astakam is there. We can recite Nana Shastra Vicharana Ikanipuna Sadharama Samsa Kakao Lokana Mita Karuna Tribhuvanya Anya Saranya Karo Radha Krishna Padara Vinda Bhajan Nandena Mata Vika Bande Rupa Sanatana Ragayugo 𝐃𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐬. We can offer the prayer. We can pray to them, O Rupa Goswami, please. When will you bestow upon me the mercy of Lord Chaitanya? We can pray. Please bestow upon me the love of Godhead. Please accept me into the Bhakti court. Please give me shelter. We can pray. It is recommended that we should remember the six Goswamis every day. Should try to remember the six Goswamis every day, offering them prayers. Should offer them prayers every day. Serob se sanatana bata raguna, 𝐶𝐸𝐬𝐢 gopala bata dasa raguna, 𝐒𝐰𝐸𝐬𝐢 goro charana bundan, jaya hote bidana abhisa charan. You can recite the prayers every day. We should recite these prayers every day to the six Goswamis. Always. Always. Remember them. We remember them, they will give us their blessings. That's what we need. We need their blessings so we can become successful in our Krishna consciousness. All right?
Yes. Any devotees who are having question can still raise their hand or type the question in the chat box. Yes, there's Sukadev Prabhu. He has a question. Sukadev Prabhu, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my prostrated obeisances. Thank you very, very much, Gurudev, for the heart-turning class. Guru Maharaj, in regards to the six Goswamis and also the previous acharyas, it is there that in the beginning of our Krishna consciousness, we're being taught about the six Goswamis, about how we should pray always to them. But then we find out that as we progress at a certain stage in our Krishna consciousness, there's so many ideas and so many things that comes up in our life in terms of devotee association, preaching, sankirtan, so many things, so many books that have been read, that has been said. Now, it pushes the basics of the six Goswamis' teachings, or the principles of the six Goswamis that we're supposed to truly follow. It pushes it down because now there's so many other people's ideas that is there in our head, and we're like trying to mold our consciousness and our mind according to the ideas of other people or other leaders and other teachers that is there. So how do we consciously always bring ourselves back to the basis, so that we don't get, in the process, a lot of us, we get derailed off the line of Krishna consciousness, or we get carried away with so many things. So how do we always bring our consciousness back to the basics, Guru Maharaj?
First of all, it means that the foundation of our Krishna consciousness was not strong. That's the reason for deviation. Just like when the foundation of the building is not strong. Any wind can blow it at any time, whether strong or small. If the foundation is strong, or like it is said in the Bible, build your house on the rock. If the house is built on the rock, it will never be blown down at any time. Not deviation. See, if we are well grounded with the teachings of our acharyas, if we are well grounded, they will be able to carry whatever thing we are going to face to the whole. If we are well grounded, we cannot be absorbed in the teachings of our acharyas in Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami and other books, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. If we Chaitanya, this is upon us, a lot of instruction, we cannot be well grounded in these books and have any deviation. Deviation will not come. Everything will bounce off. It will bounce off and go. Everything will bounce off. It will not get stuck inside. Getting stuck inside means that we are not immunized. It means the vaccination, the disease is stronger than the medicine. If the disease is stronger than the medicine, then the medicine will not work. If the medicine is stronger, then the disease also will not stay. The disease will be destroyed. Therefore, we should come back to scrutinizingly study these teachings of our acharyas. Let us give our time to their teachings. Should do Bhakti Sastri with those who are ingrained with these teachings. It is their life, and they are speaking for our own benefit, not for anything, for our own benefit. Those people, when they speak, and when we hear from them, like the light is destroying the fog, the darkness, it will be cleared. Other animals are making noise here and there, but when the light roared, they all find their feet. They will find their feet. Similarly, when the pure devotee speaks, when we hear from them, all those concussions, all this, the imagination will be destroyed. In reality, the truth will come out. We'll see the light. And we can do that by associating with those who are well grounded in these teachings. So Bhakti Dhira Damodara said, my dear brother, my dear sister, where will you find your fortune? Where? Where? Our fortunes will come from the devotees. And devotees who are true devotees, who are experienced, accomplished devotees. That is where we get our fortune. They will destroy the darkness. That which look like real, it will be exposed. You can see exactly what is real. And by following that, you'll be saved. Why our children spend a long time to put everything in a book? They are just spoken and just go away, like we do in the class. If you hear a class, that is gone. But when it is put down in a book, it will not go, it will remain, it will stay with us. Especially in Kali Yuga. Especially in Kali Yuga. So like yesterday, he knew this. That is why he put everything down in the book. So that we have evidence. Anytime you can refer, you can go to the book and say, yeah, yes, I forgot this thing before, now I got it back. We should keep good association that will help us to get reminded about the reality, the true thing we should do. So we don't forget by the alignment of the superficial things that it looks so real, but they're not real. It should not be captured by the superficiality. We should deal with the reality. That requires good association with the devotees who are not association. All right.
Yes, beloved Gurudev. Guru, if you permit, there's one more question, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. In regards to what we hear also, like there are some people, or there are some preachers or mentors like that when we hear them, it like what they are saying is like it pierces the heart, and it like creates a certain guilty conscience in our heart whenever we hear them speak. Like we become very, very guilty, like, oh my God, I'm very bad. This is actually me. This is me that they are talking about. But then there's still some other people also that when we hear them, our intelligence, it brightens our intelligence, and one makes us feel a bit more self-conscious, and the other one makes us to be a bit more the intelligence gets more. I believe you understand what I'm trying to say, Gurudev. But now in the two, yes, sometimes we don't. Me myself, Guruma, because I'm speaking for myself. Sorry, Gurudev. Yes, Gurudev. One. Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yes.
That is a mental ability. There's no potency there. A true speaker is one who will break the heart. That's a true speaker. That's a potent speaker. That is why we should hear from the person who can penetrate the heart, not the person who will entertain our intellect. That is what most of us are. We speak something for entertain the intellect. Feel very happy, but it will never purify anyone. The word that will purify is the word that goes to the heart. Make us realize what we are lacking, what we're not doing or supposed to do, and how to do it, and push us to start doing it. That is preaching. Preaching is not an exercise like drama. One will rehearse to come and perform on the stage. Preaching is a science, it's different. It is purity. It is purity. So we should go for that which purifies the heart and make us to realize and pursue the essence. Not just to maintain our intellect. That is not where we are looking. Our child had never flat house. Never. They pierce the heart with their strong words. You don't see Krishna telling Arjuna, you're right. Krishna telling Arjuna, you're a fool. You're a fool. And Papa followed the same thing. You rascal. You should not do this. You should do that. That is the duty of acharyas. They enter the heart. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Gurudev. I'm very, very joyful. Thank you. Thank you.
Srila Gurudev, we are having one more question from YouTube, again from Aishwarya Prabhu. So he's asking, what should be our prayers to Srila Prabhupada when we visit his samadhi in Shri Krishna Balaram Mandir?
So Prabhupada has a pranama mantra, and we should offer pranama mantra to him. And after that, we should pray to him. He should give us the strength so that we can be a loyal follower and a dedicated servant, not a deviant who will disturb the movement, but who will support this movement and make the movement to stand as potent as he will want it to be. So beg him for this mercy. So he uses us as an instrument to expand his glories. Want to be true followers, not a deviant. We want him to force us to do what he wants us to do, and not allow us to do what we want to do. All right.
I think we don't have any more questions. So Srila Gurudev, thank you for this wonderful lecture. And we thank all the devotees who participated in today's session. And we pray to see you next Monday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sri Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada ki jai.
Srila Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.